Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Cyberse Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Ignition Assault. Wanted to do an update to the Cyberse deck. It's pretty much become a tradition at this point where with every sneak preview I always update the Cyberse deck. This is actually probably the set where the generic Cyberse support was probably the least supported, with the focus on the Ignition Assault booster pack being for the @Igniter monsters, which they are pretty generic with some of the effects. I want to focus more on the @Igniters for their own deck core and focus mostly on Yusaku's own cards for the update to the Cyberse deck. The biggest one obviously being Lady Debug, fresh off the ban list, now at 3 in the deck. I would say definitely helping the Cyberse deck a lot more, being able to have more searches with this card to extend your different link plays you can do with all the different Cyberse extra deck monsters we run in the deck. And the new card being the OCG import we received definitely does help with all the Code Talker support we run in the deck. And I wanted to fix that to run with the deck along with the new Link 5 monster we have and all the different extra deck monsters, making it for a more fun deck profile as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I run 3 Lady Debug. Like I said, fresh off the ban list, this card, it wasn't even on the, it wasn't banned, it was at 1. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 level 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use its effect of Lady Debug once per turn. So being able to search out a good amount of cards you run in the deck, then easily be able to special summon them onto the field helps just to go for your link plays. And if you have cards like Signet Codec set up on the field, it's just all the more help as well. And if you're able to special summon Lady Debug, it's an extra plus. It is a once per turn, but having 3 of this card just means you can easily search it more and then grab more resources from your deck to use also. For some other cards as backup, I run 3 Balancer Lord. With this one and this card, once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points during your main phase. This turn, you can normal summon 1 Cyberse monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only use and gain this effect once per turn. If this card is banished, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You can only use this effect, Balancer Lord, once per turn. So being able to special summon from your hand more resources that you search out with cards like Lady Debug definitely does help with the banish effect, but the normal summon, I'd say, is the best use of this card, giving you 1 more normal summon for more monsters on the field to keep your link plays going with all the different Cyberse monsters you can summon out onto the field from your extra deck. Balancer Lord definitely does come in handy, and running the 3 Lady Debug makes for our Exceed plays a lot easier to go into Firewall Exceed Dragon also. And I also run 3 Microcoder. With this one, this is the one from the Legacy of the Duelist video game. I'd say it's a little more easier to obtain now. If a Cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker monster, and this card is in your hand, you can also send and use this card as material. If this card is sent from the field or hand to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can either add 1 Signet Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, or if this card on the field was used as material, you can add 1 level 4 or level 4 Cyberse monster instead. You can only use each effect of Microcoder once per turn. It gives you searches. It also gives you the option to add the Signet Codec or the Signet Optimization to your hand, or even the Signet Mining. All very, very useful searches with Microcoder, and then also just being able to rely on the search for a monster if it was on the field. Most of the time I go for the spells for more of the setup, just for more reliable play, because those spells always do help to extend your plays also. And I also run 3 Cyberse Gadget. When this card is normal summon, you can target 1 level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Gadget token with 0 attack and defense, level 2, and then you can only use this effect of Cyberse Gadget once per turn. But you have the perfect target being Microcoder, which is a big help also, and a couple other level 2s you run in the deck to work off of Cyberse Gadget's own effect. But just resource-wise, it gives you a token, which is more for the link plays, and just gives you a special summon from the graveyard. So you always have an additional card to summon out with this one also on the field. And if you use Balancer Lord to give you the additional normal summon, you'll get the effect, since it has to be normal summon to get the special summon. And I'm only running 2 Widget Kid now. This card is searchable with some other cards in the deck, including Lady Debug. I decided to drop it down to 2 since I was running 3 Lady Debug now in the deck. I would say 2 a lot more useful since it is searchable. It's just a special summon when this card is normal or special summon of a Cyberse monster in your hand. A lot of cards have to be normal summon, like Cyberse Gadget. Lady Debug can be normal or special, so it works very well there. And then you'll just use the effect to search out a backup secretary from your deck to special summon out to the field as well. And I also run 2 Clock Wyvern. I'm still running the Cyberse Clock Dragon fusion play in the deck, but if you want to try out the new Earth Igniter play as well, you can give it a try. It's a little more generic, not needing a specific monster like Clock Wyvern, like Cyberse Clock Dragon does, just needing a Link monster and a Cyberse monster to make it. But I still like going for the Cyberse Clock Dragon play since it was Yusaku's play in the deck also. With that, you'll need Clock Wyvern. I would say Clock Wyvern is still very, very useful, just giving you a token when it's normal or special summon by having this card's attack. You'll just use the cards for the resources most of the time, even to go into your Link monster, which is your Clock Spartoy, being able to summon this out and set up for your fusion play, also being able to add your Cynet fusion from your deck to your hand. So 2 Clock Wyvern, once again, all you need really for that play. It's searchable with cards like Cynet Mining, so always useful there. And then also for a few more of the 2-ofs, I run 2 Backup Secretary, another card that's searchable by Lady Debug. If you just need an easy special summon onto the field, you can normal summon your Lady Debug, search out the Backup Secretary, and then there's your special summon for your Link 2 right there. It's also a once per turn, that's why I'm only running 2 of this card. You don't really need 3 copies of it. Other than that, I definitely do like the card. It's always been a great play in the deck, just being an easy special summon out to the field. Another one is Boot Staggered, which I'm also running 2 of. When Cyberse monster is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Boot Staggered once per turn, and when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 1 stag token onto the field. Just more token usage. This one has 2300 attack, so pretty easy to attack into your opponent's monsters and destroy them, but also just being an easy special summon when you normal summon cards like Lady Debug, and then you can use Lady Debug's effect to search out a Cyberse, giving you 3 monsters right then and there if you search out Backup Secretary to summon onto the field, or even searching out your Microcoder if you're going to go for a Code Talker, using this in your hand as well, and then getting an additional search from there. And then for some of the 1-ofs, I run 1 Code Radiator. It's basically a microcoder with different effects, negating your opponent's effects and then making their attack 0, and then being able to use it for 2 if it was on the field when you did it and not in your hand instead, which you can use it as a Link resource if it's in your hand, also for a Cyberse monster. And I also run 1 Dotscaper, great setup. You can summon it with 1 for 1, and then when it's either banished or sent to the graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect once per duel, but it's also a targeted card for your Cyberse gadget to special summon back out to the field. 1 Simtabler, more setup for your level 4 monsters, as well as special summoning this card. 1 Link Infraflyer, just being an easy special summon from your hand. A Win target search for Cynet Codec as well. And 1 Degrade Buster. When you summon out Power Code Talker and you have your Cynet Codec set up, the Degrade Buster can also be a very good search to add to your hand, and then just banish cards like Bouncer Lord or Dotscaper in your graveyard to summon this card, then give their additional effects as well. And then for the last of the monsters in the main deck, I run the 1 Cyberse Magician, just Yusaku's main Cyberse ritual to go into. Also just being a great defense one at that. You're able to search out the ritual spell setup as well with your Cyber Switch, which also searches out Cyberse Magician, giving your setup for the play to go into. It's really only needed at 1 in the deck since it's searchable. And then once you have that play, you can rely on it in the graveyard for cards like Dark Fluid Dragon. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Cynet Codec. This card just sets up all your different Link plays when you summon a Code Talker monster, because then depending on the attribute of the Code Talker, you can add a monster from your deck to your hand with the same attribute of that Code Talker. It's not a once per turn either. As long as you summon out another Code Talker with a different attribute, you can get the same effect and keep searching and then keep extending your Link plays also. Very, very useful in the deck especially. Hopefully we see a reprint of it. I know that the video game is the only way to get it. I don't think it's as difficult to get as when it first initially came out, but still very, very useful for the deck in total. Same with Cynet Mining. If you don't have the Cynet Mining, which searches out cards by sending 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, setting up your graveyard play as well, you can replace this with Cynet Backdoor. We are getting a reprint of it in Dual Overload, so hopefully it will be a little easier for people to acquire for their Cyberse decks. And I also run 2 Cynet Optimization. It gives you an additional normal summon, and also when a Code Talker monster battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of damage step. I only run 2 of this card. It's searchable with cards like Microcoder, just like all the other Cynet cards. So I feel that's all you really need in the deck. Your opponent may try to destroy it, so having another one to rely on for the additional normal summon play can definitely help and keep all your different plays going, relying on this for the Cyberse Link summons. And then I also run excuse me, 1 Cynet Fusion and 1 Cynet Ritual. With this one, giving you one of each of these plays. Cynet Fusion is searchable off of Clock Spartoy, and then Cynet Ritual is searchable off of Cyber Switch, so being able to get both of these cards off of searches is really all you need. I did try mixing in some of the Ad Ignisters at one point just to go with the plays there, but like I said, I wanted to focus mostly on Yusaku's cards for this deck, so decided just to stick with the originals for these spots also. And for a few more one-ofs, I run 1 one-time passcode, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, and 1 1-for-1. The special summoning off of Monster Reborn, the setup with Foolish Burial, the additional token with one-time passcode, and then the 1-for-1 for your Dotscaper or Microcoder all do come in handy with this deck also. And that's it for the main deck. Like I said, we didn't really get anything new for the main deck, with the focus from the new pack Ignition Assault being for the At Ignister monsters. Our newest extra deck monster, though, which definitely does help since it is a link to Code Talker, is Code Talker inverted. With this one, you need 2 Cybers monsters to make it. And then if this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 Cybers monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. Excuse me. You can only use each effect of Code Talker inverted once per turn. So just being able to special summon another resource from your hand to a zone this card's points to. So if you set it up on the field with another arrow pointing down, most of the time it'll be an easy setup with Code Talker, which both of them, Code Talker is a dark attribute and inverted is a light, being able to give you searches for the different light and dark monsters with easy summons of a Code Talker monster on the field with Cynet Codec is your main play to go for with these 2 cards. And then I also run 1 Update Jammer, 1 Cyber Switch, 1 Clock Spartoy for the, excuse me, after you talk so much, it, catches up to you. The Update Jammer definitely does come in handy with the Transcode Talker plays, being able to special summon it back and co-link them. The Cyber Switch being searchable with the plays for your Ritual, and Clock Spartoy for the Fusion plays. You really only need 1 of each to rely on, though. The 1 Link Karibo for the Link 1 plays, when you can make them, definitely does help. For the Code Talkers, 1 Power Code Talker for the Fire Tribute, 1 Transcode Talker, 1 Xcode Talker, and then the 1 Decode Talker Extended. I decided to go with Extended instead of normal Decode Talker, just for the, I'd say, more additional power plays. And then for the higher link monsters, I run the 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. Works well with the Firewall since it's a link 4, and since we no longer have Firewall Dragon in the extra deck, sadly. But we do have the Dark Fluid, which I'm still running as well. Very, very strong boss monster especially, and also able to rely on this when you get out your Cyber's Clock, and then Quantum Dragon, and then Firewall Exceed Dragon late game as well. Then using this as your power play when they're in the graveyard to really boost up this card's power also. But that is it for the deck profile. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll be getting some more Cybers cards soon for another update. But I always like to update the deck when we get a new sneak peek, even if there's not too many cards in total for it. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.